Whoa, this might be way too distracting, the lights. I really dig this for like an intro though. I'm not gonna do that today though, because I'm wearing a Shane Dawson hoodie. I have a bleach stain on it somewhere because sadly this is like a really comfortable hoodie. It was green, it had a pig on it. Don't judge me! I like green. I don't know why I chose this. I'm feeling colorful today. Also, I have no idea where this water bottle came from. I remember being like, oh, that's cool. And it says, behind every smile. I gotta stay hydrated. Today, I'm talking about being small in a world for tall people. I used to be so insecure about being small. Mostly because once I got to high school, I feel like that's when it really affected me because everyone was just like, oh my God, how old are you, little girl? And I'm like, I'm 17. Actually, my first day of freshman year of high school, I go in, there's this old man, and he's the janitor. I find out he's the janitor. And he's like, do you need help, honey? Honey, do you need help? And I'm like, no. Like, please leave me alone, you know? Freshman year, you feel so cool. You feel like you're in high school. Still a baby, you know? Looking back, I'm like, oh my God, you tiny little baby.
I'm a little baby.
This man followed me around all day. So I noticed this man all day, and he's like, do you want me to carry that for you? I don't know why he thought I was in high school, because he definitely thought I was a younger kid. So I don't know if he thought I was a genius and I was taking high school classes, or if like I was lost all day. I have no idea, because you would think if he thought I was lost, he'd just be like, why are you here? You know, like, honey, do you need to go to the right school? So he followed me around all day. I don't know if you guys knew or not how long he was following me around, but it was all day. I don't know if you caught that. And at lunchtime, I remember he like picked up my tray for me and like carried it. He's like, where are you sitting, sweetie? This is not happening. Like, straight out of a nightmare, you know? Like, this is my life. This is a television show, right? First episode of a sitcom, going to high school. And so I remember he like set it down at the table, because I'm like, I have a group of friends already, you know, like, it's our little clique.
Ain't nobody fucking with my click, 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 click.
I'm still friends with them. And so he sets my tray down, and he's like, if you need anything, let me know. And all my friends are assholes, you know, and they're like, ooh. And I was like, guys, I'm gonna cry. I don't know who this man is. Turns out my mom works at the school board. She figures out who it is. He went home and he's like, oh my God, I thought she was like a young little baby child in the wrong school. Or he thought I was in the special needs class, which again, accurate, because I do have a lot of disabilities and I was on an IEP. Anyway, my fun, tiny life. It's not so fun. Not so fun at all. I feel like a lot of people would assume that I was bullied for being small, and I really wasn't, because I was kind of an asshole. I feel like my whole class would kind of pick on each other, which was pretty nice. You know, I remember one time, again, it was freshman year of high school, this boy's voice cracked, And I was like, God, when are you gonna go through puberty? And he's like, when are you gonna grow, Alyssa? And so, like, that stuff is funny to me. I think it's funny. I'm giving you shit, you're allowed to give me shit, you know? So I've never been one to be like, I was bullied. Because I really wasn't. I feel like a lot of people that were around my age really understood, like, I was going through a lot. And so, thankfully they were there for me the week we were all graduating. Oh my gosh, and I have to put this picture. One of the teachers was yelling at him like, you're gonna rip it, take it off. And he wore it from the classroom like to the gymnasium to practice. And again, another funny moment. Like, it wasn't malicious. I know I'm small, it's not like a secret. And I think it's really funny when people will try to reassure me about it. Maybe back in high school, early college and stuff, I was really struggling with who I was and how I looked. And sometimes I'm like, dang, I bet it's easy being normal height and not having to struggle and have people comment on what you look like all the time. Again, it's my own personal view of myself. It's not really their view. And again, I think it's mostly just because I'm like, I just want a normal day. A lot of times I hate going out in public because I take a risk of someone saying something really stupid to me and I have to interact with that person. And I don't want to. I just want to live my life. And sometimes I forget how short I am until somebody else is like, damn, you're small. And I'm like, I bet that is. I keep hitting this wall. I bet that is pretty jarring. Because if someone came up to me and was half my height, 2 foot, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? I totally get it. My boyfriend really likes going to the casino. And I got ID'd 3 times the last time we went. You have to show your ID going in every time. And I guess people were complaining, saying, like, there's a child in here. I had a tank top on, and I have tattoos, like, all over my arms. And they always act like they're scared to ask me for my ID, which I know I'm sure a lot of people are like, how dare you? But I'm like, I get it. You just gotta ask me. Just come up and be like, hey, let me see your ID. Now it's getting to the point where it's kind of insulting because they will look at my ID and be like, oh, dang, you're old. People always said, you're gonna love that when you get older. You're gonna love that people think you're young. No. Give me peace.
Peace on the world.
And let me have fun. I don't care that I look young. And I think I only look young because I'm short. Even when I get older, people are just gonna like not even pay attention and be like, child, small child. I think this year for the casino trip, because my boyfriend's turning 30, I was looking up hats that have a little ID slit so I could just stick the ID down in it. I haven't found one. So I might make my own for the people that look young, for the shorties out there who get ID'd everywhere they go multiple times, even though you follow the rules. I'm gonna patent that. I'll make beanies. We'll just stick our ID right in there and they're like, can I see your ID? Bam, right there. I worked for a lawyer in my hometown just on weekends. He was kind enough to let the blind girl be a receptionist. So I would answer phones. Sometimes he would dictate to me, but mostly I just answered phones and sat there and greeted the clients that came in. And of course the window to the lobby, I had to like look up. Here's the window. So I'm on my tiptoes, like opening the thing. I'm like, hi. This guy one time called so mad, cussing me out, telling me he was going to come to the office. I was the only one there. The lawyer hadn't come in yet. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll see you soon, sir. I call the lawyer and I'm like, this man's really mad. And he's like, okay, no worries. I'm on my way. He's like, just tell him I'll be there soon. The guy like storms in, slams the door, comes to the window, I stand up, walk over to the window.
To the window, to the walls.
Hi, sir. He was like, is your mommy here? And I was like, no, I'm the only one working today. And he was like, were you who I spoke to on the phone? I was like, mm-hmm. He's like, tell the lawyer I'm waiting out here. I was like, okay. So when the lawyer comes in, he's like, thanks, bud. He was really calm now. I think he thought he yelled at a little girl. I don't know what he was thinking at the time, but you could tell he was just like, I said some profanities to this really tiny girl, and now I don't know what to do with myself. When I started my current job, I went in for a training day, and I was sitting in the break room because there was like a bunch of people, and I think the girl training me was awesome because she was like, we can just hang out here for a minute because, you know, where I can't see very well. She was very, very kind about that. So I'm just hanging out, and I hear one of the women go, whose little one is this? And they got like a hush hush. But again, I find it funny. You know, like, I wish more people just thought it was funny when people like say stuff like that. I mean, I've talked to people who have walked away before, you know, like, this is my life. Just awkward moments all the time. And that's fine. Another time, me and my friend went to a spicy shop because she was hosting a bachelorette party. So when we walked in, the lady yells, ma'am, she can't be in here. I said, ma'am, I'm 27. And then I was like, it's fine, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to like throw that right back at you, but I did. She followed me around the whole store, apologizing. That is the reason why I usually just don't say anything. And I'm usually like, actually, I'm 27. Because if I talk to people the way they talk to me, it triggers something in their brain like, ding, 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 probably shouldn't be this rude to people. So she followed me around the whole store. It was just like, I'm so sorry. Again, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, no, it's fine. But I'm rethinking my entire life. You think I should sue for discrimination against these places? I should have made some money. I'm gonna start thinking about it. Because it's gonna happen again. This is not the end of this journey. Next year I'll probably have a whole plethora of new stories to tell you. Another thing I've noticed is people feel the need to touch me. And I guess it's just because they don't respect the boundaries of children. And so I think it's caused me to try to be pretty respectful of children. And I try not to just be like, oh, the baby. The little baby. But I'm perfect height for people to just like touch my hair. Which, do not touch my hair. If you think about it, don't do it. Would you walk up to like some 60-year-old woman and just start like, no, you don't do that. You don't touch people. Even if you think you can touch me, don't do it. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I never thought that was going to be an issue when I got older. Don't touch me. When I was younger, people used to pick, well, okay, take that back. People still try to pick me up. Randomly, people are just like, wah, let me just, yeah. I'm like, you don't know me like that. Stop. There was one disturbing moment. I believe I was in college at the time, so it's probably in my 20s, maybe 18, 19. I was with my cousin, and I forget who we went to visit. We went to get something or take somebody something, and this old man was sitting there, and he's like, oh my god, hi little girl. And I'm like, hi. And he grabs my arm, and he's like, sit on my lap. Even if I was a child, no, don't do that. And I'm just standing there, and I'm like, no. My cousin's laughing, and I'm like, fuck you. So she's dying, you know, and I'm standing there, this man's tugging on me, and I'm like, no, no thank you, no thank you. Super awkward. Come to find out, it's some old man that goes to church in that town, and I'm just like, yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. No boundaries. Trying to get some girl to sit on his lap. Doesn't know her age. Yeah, that checks out. Some of those moments, I'm just like, even if you think I'm a child, what the fuck is wrong with you? That you think this is okay. It's not. I get roasted by children a lot, which is like, I love getting roasted by children. It's it's the old men trying to get me to sit on their lap that disturbs me in life. For those of you who don't know, I am a licensed massage therapist, and I've had a lot of weird encounters there, specifically due to my height. I've walked out before and I'm like, hi, and I say the client's name, and the first thing they say to me is not, hello, nice to meet you. It's, are you sure you can do this? No. I just went to school, got licensed. This establishment hired me. I've been here for almost 3 years. You're right. I can't do this. I don't know why I'm here. Can you give me a ride back to the nearest elementary school? Like, what do they want me to say? It happens just enough apart from each other, though, for me to just be like, it's gonna be a good day. I ain't gonna have no problems today. And then I go out and they're like, you're short. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. This happened recently. This lady comes in and she's being a little weird. A lot of people are weird though. Some people are just like very odd about massage. I had seen she had been there before, so I was like, okay, she knows what to do. I don't know why she's kind of being a little standoffish. She might be having a bad day. Some people like a quiet session, you know? Some people don't want to have an intake with you, you know? So like, you're like, hi, how are you feeling in your body? And they're like, I'm fine, just this area, goodbye. I respect it. You want to have an hour where you just zone out, you get your body feeling right, and you leave. That's awesome. Good for you. So I thought it was one of those girls. Or I thought she wasn't going to tip well, and she was just like being a snob. There's just so many options. So I don't judge. I'm just like, all right, I'll be right back in. Do what you want me to do. Bada bing, bada boom.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
So after the massage, she was like, wow, that was amazing. I'm like, yes. I'm glad she doesn't seem like she hates me anymore. Cool. And so she leaves. I go to the break room. My manager comes to the back and she's like, congratulations. And in my head, I'm like, what did I do wrong? You know, I was like, I'm about to get fired.
I'm scared.
I'm just looking at her and she's like, you cured that woman of her fear of little people.
I need absolute silence while I fall into character. I need absolute silence. I need absolute silence.
I'm gonna go home. I don't get paid enough for that. And neither does my manager. And she was like, the weird things people have said to me since you started working here. I'm like, yeah, I know. She's cured. Hallelujah. And then we had a whole discussion in the break room. And they're like, you're not technically a little person, are you? I'm like, no. And I'm at the point where I don't care. I don't care what you identify me as. But the reason I'm short is because I was on prednisone steroids for so long. And my family's short. I always say, like, I probably would have only been 4'9" max. I maybe would have grew 6 to 8 more inches. But I don't think I was ever meant to be a normal height. I have a lot of people assume I was a premature baby. I think that's one thing that does bother me. There are a lot of assumptions out there about me. I feel like people feel the need to correct me, even if I don't want nor need it. And again, that also comes with me being blind. One of the reasons being blind is so much harder on my mental health. Being blind is hard on your mental health already, but I think for me, it really pisses me off because not only am I short, and that makes people look at me like, oh, she's so childlike. Also, adding blindness to that really makes me seem like I don't know what the fuck is happening. Hey, future Alyssa here. Could be that, or it could be the fact that you really don't have any idea what the fuck's happening ever. And that's really hard because I have strived for independence my whole life. I've always wanted to be on my own and thrive and move away from home, and you know, I've done that. And then I feel like people will just assume a lot of things about me. Like when I first started massage school, I moved to a place where I could just walk to school every day, and people were just like, oh, so do you live with your parents? I'm like, no, I'm 25. You know, and no shade in that, but it's just funny because people will just always assume like, oh my god, she can't take care of herself. Again, that comes along with being blind, but it is just really funny, like all the assumptions people make about me. I feel like a lot of people treat me like I get my way a lot. I have worked my ass off to be where I am, and when people treat me like that, I'm just like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Or at doctor's offices, to this day, get really rude comments from nurses. And I'm just like, do you talk to everybody like that? Or do you just talk to me like that because you treat me like I'm a child and you treat children shitty? There was this one time I have severe trauma in my eyes. And so there's this one machine, I cannot think of the name of it, but they like tap your eye, and it's supposed to just be like once, like a little tap, and it reads your pressure. Never has worked on me at all, ever. And my eyes don't numb very well at all, ever. So I always tell them, I'm like, just don't do it. And they've argued with me before, like, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, it's not a big deal to you. It is to me, because I have severe trauma with this. And I hate being that person. If you know me personally, you know I hate being like, I'm traumatized. I can't do that.
Has your trauma made you stronger? No. All right, what has it done for you? It's made me way funnier.
So for me to verbalize that is so hard. And the last time I went, the bitchy nurse, who I hope has a terrible day today and every other day of her life. I'm also petty. The bitchy ass nurse was like, I do this to children and they're fine. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about those children. I give a fuck about me. And guess what? She tapped my eye, didn't work. She taps it more, didn't work. She keeps tapping it, didn't work. I said, oh, it's not working? Like I said it wouldn't? She's like, no, that's so weird. Can you feel it? Because every time she's tapping, my eye's watering, and I'm like flinching because I can feel it. So those are the moments where I'm just like, if I was normal sized, would you listen to me? Or would you still be a bitch right now? That one got me triggered. Hello, trauma. Oh god. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the funny stuff though. Leave the trauma behind. Leave the trauma behind. I'm sorry, I get so heated. I'm like, this hoe. Anyway. I still wish terrible things on that woman. Last year, me and my boyfriend went to Universal, and that was so much fun. And of course, I have some funny little stories from that. So we are matching Thankfully, he does that with me. It's really fun. It's really cute. So we bought Slytherin pants and we had black t-shirts on. I think that's what we were wearing. We're getting on the plane and this lady behind us is like, oh, are you two siblings? And we were like, no. And he goes, that's my girlfriend. This man's 6'3". I'm 4'3". We give zero explanation. He just says, that's my girlfriend. And the lady was like, oh, I love it. And then we sat down on the plane and I was like, that lady probably thinks you're dating like a 12-year-old. Like, she has no idea. But also, don't assume things, y'all. Then at Universal, I thought my boyfriend was having a heat stroke or something because he's holding my hand. Again, it doesn't make me look older when someone is guiding me because I'm blind, but anyway, it was the easier option at Universal because you have lockers, and so I would have had to have put my cane in the locker, and then it was a whole thing. So I just held his hand for most of the time. And so we're holding hands, and he just dead stops. Honey, are you okay? He's 6'3", so I'm like, hello? And then I like walked around him, and he's just staring. He has sunglasses on. He's just staring. And I was like, he was silent. He didn't say anything. And I'm like touching his stomach and his arm. Like, are you okay? This man finally breaks his silence after like a solid minute. It felt like longer. But he's like, there was a kid staring at you. So this man's solution was to have a stare off with a child. And I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get kicked out of the park for like just glaring at children. He was like, he needs to learn not to stare. Okay, fair enough. Another moment me and my boyfriend had like maybe a month ago. We went to Five Below, and as soon as we walk up to check out, the cashier says, I've never seen a little person before. And me and Dan are like, what? So we just don't even acknowledge what he says, you know, because we're just like, okay. I get my card out. I hand it to him because I'm blind. I'm like, here, you deal with this. As he's swiping, the guy's like, my Nana would freak out. Me and Dan are still just like, okay. And so I put my card back in my wallet and we're just like, all right, bye. And then once we get in his truck, he's like, man's acting like he's never left the holler. We're in a city, dude. What? And I was like, I love that you're not confrontational like me, because some days I just don't want to deal with it. But if I was with some of my friends, they would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? And as they should. But sometimes I'm like, I don't want to educate today. I just want to go home and have a peaceful little day.
Peace on the world.
I think that's all the stories I'm going to share today. If I think of more, I'll make another video. Tell me if you're small. Tell me what the craziest thing somebody has said to you is. I hope you've enjoyed my story times, my opinions, my feelings, my trauma, my I don't give a f, my cursing. And let me know some of the weird things people have said to you. If you're short, if you're tall, if you're normal height, but people have been weird to you. Just let me know, because I'm interested. I post videos every Sunday, unless I don't. And I'm trying to get better at editing, like I used to be. I was never great, but I was decent. And let me know what else you want to hear from me. And I will see you next Sunday.